I'm going to thank Sandy and the BREW organizing committee for the invitation to share these ideas and some of the challenges that I've been through teaching in the new AI world of lecturing. So I'm going to share with you some of the ideas and solutions, potential solutions that I've been through by teaching biochemistry and metabolism in the Federal University of Rio. So the first, I'm just going to be a brief outline of the Federal University of Rio and the biomedicine course and the discipline of bioenergetics and metabolism. And then I'll get through the development of critical thinking for the students, for the undergrad students, as a key learning step for these cohort of students. And then I'll explain a little bit of how I evaluate the students from the old times before the ChatGPT new environment. And then what I'm doing today, since the GPT came into the board, in a new evaluation capacity for the students. So just to give a brief outline of the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro for some that are not familiar with. The Federal University of Rio is the biggest federal university in Brazil. It runs continuously since the 1792, offers close to 200 undergraduates and more than 130 postgraduate programs, and approximately 53,000 undergrad students and 50,000 postgraduate students. So it's a big university in Brazil and some of the leading in Latin America, and some distinguishing former students, including Oscar Niemeyer, Clarice Lispector, Jorge Amado, Carlos Chagas, just some of them that came from Federal University of Rio. So the discipline that I'm working with in the last 22 years is specifically on bioenergetics and metabolism. And the idea is to teach the students how the cells grab energy from the environment and transform it to work, biological work. So I'm the coordinator of this discipline for the biomedical course students. It's a lecture-based course. Mostly there are basically two practical lectures during the semester. It's just for the second semester students, around 50 students per class, for 90 hours per semester. And then we have plenty of lecture-based activities for all the classes during the semester. And for all of them, we have an active learning activity for each day. And I want to stress that the very first lecture that I present to the students is to understand, is to learn how we get the scientific information in a confident way. So in this very first class, I teach the students how they can find original papers. What is a scientific paper? I mean, just the basic concepts for the young students that come into science. So in this first lecture, I present to students what is a scientific paper, how can they get through a scientific paper, and then I present a very basic topics from the Science magazine, from New York Times, how should read original papers and how to get through the literature of science. And this is quite important because during this very first lecture, I teach the students, I show them how important is the development of critical thinking. And this is just an example, a brief example of how important is critical thinking. This is a paper that was published in 2003 showing an ventilation manual activity of organic compound that was published. And 5 years later, this second paper was published in a different journal from a different group in a different time. So I present both papers in different times, And this is one of the data. So every image that you're going to see on the left is from the 2003 paper, and on the right is from the 2008 paper. So this is an EM image of leishmania image. And on the right, you see the 2008 paper from Trypanosoma cruzi, different parasite. And you see basically that the image is exactly the same. And you see in different images from the two papers that the images were quite identical between these two papers. And just to make a long story short, this paper from 2008 was found to be went to a misconduct and was retracted by the time. And this brings to the point that why critical thinking is so important. And I use this as an example to warn the students that scientific literature is human, is made by humans that are fallible and has a lot of misconduct cases. And this is even proportional to the impact factor of the journal. So for many years, I was doing, instead of doing an in-classroom test, I was using the paper, what I call the paper test. What was that? That was a take-home exam that I asked them to prepare to write a scientific article based on the results that I presented for them in advance. So the students took a month to prepare a formatted scientific paper based on the results and methods that I provided for them. So they had to write an introduction, the results, a discussion, and conclusions, and add all the references that they used to write this paper. So this is just an example of one of the paper tests, the method section that I provided, and some of the results with their legends. And I suggested that the students use the FABS letter formatting to prepare the papers. So this is just one of the examples of one student that prepared a very nice example. It's in Portuguese, but it's a very nice example of this test. And this was worked quite well over the years. But then after November 2022, things have changed. And with ChatGPT, I had to figure out a different way to address this, how I would assess exams of students in this new environment. So I proposed, I designed a new way to evaluate them, which I call the bioenergetic AI, which I'm running since the ChatGPT came out. So this bioenergetic AI is divided in 4 different activities. The first one is that it's a group evaluation. So I divided the class in 5, 6 groups, and each group choose one of the 6 topics of bioenergetics that they should investigate. And each group will ask a relevant question to the ChatGPT. So this is just one of the examples of the questions. It's not a simple question. The question should be relevant and a little bit of profound. And it should address at least 2 metabolic pathways, which we discuss in class. So this is then the ChatGPT answered the question. This is just part of the example. I'll not have time to get through the whole answer, but the chat responds to answer the question. And then the second activity, the students should seek original open access reference in the PubMed that they learned in the very first lecture, which references they could use to substantiate or to refute the points raised by ChatGPT answer. And they should seek only original scientific article, not reviews for this activity. And after that, they should prepare a short report around 5 pages containing the questions and answers generated by ChatGPT. And for that, the group should use at least 3 results. It should be figures, tables, or images from the open access papers that they found. and they should write this report showing an introduction, just a brief background for the question, the ChatGPT question, and the answer of ChatGPT, and the critical evaluation of ChatGPT response. So this is just one example of images, figures that the students found on this, and the critical evaluation. And then the last activity, the group should prepare a presentation that they give to the classroom of 25 minutes, and then we open, after this time, we open this presentation for discussion a bit among the students. So just to conclude, I think that in this new environment, the ChatGPT and other tools can be used as tools to train critical thinking for undergrad environment, and other generative AIs can also be done for that. And my perspective, I think the student engagement increased a lot using ChatGPT compared to the paper test that I did before. And despite the answers, some of the answers of ChatGPT were not fully correct. I think the main point is to make the students learn that the answer is not right, but they can critically assess the response to make a broader perspective of the concept that we are working in the classroom. So I think this is a major point, and I think that we should discuss. It's been quite important for me to learn so great ideas in this event, and I think it's very important for all of us to get through this new AI environment to improve the classroom environment. So I want to thanks once again, Cindy and the Brewmore committee for the invitation to present here. And I have my email here for those that are interested to contact me after that for get through more ideas on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Marcus. There's time for one question before we take our break. And if I don't see anything in the chat, I have just a basic logistics question. So how big is your class that you have? You said you had 5 to 6 groups, but how big is your biochemistry class?
It's usually around 50 and 60 students from the second semester. So these are very young students that just come to the university. So they are not quite familiar with scientific literature. That's why my very first lecture, I present them the scientific tools for science papers like PubMed.